Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to another episode of our, I don't know, mini Let's Play sort of thing of Path of Exile, the Awakening expansion, closed beta. So, we are now in Act 4. Now, I have gone and played through some of Act 4 already. I haven't completed it yet, but most notably, I'm now over level for this area that we're in. I mean, you can see here I'm level 41, and the area here is level 33. So we're going to be able to burn through this really easy. The way you get here is as soon as you beat Dominus, you get a different sort of ending there and a portal that opens up that brings you to this aqueduct area over here. And I gotta say again, Grinding Gear does a really good job of giving every zone a pretty distinct feel. And in particular, in Act 4, every map feels fairly different from one another. So we are on the top of an aqueduct over here, and it's kind of neat because if you look on one side, it's like it goes down forever and ever and ever. But if you go to the other side, you've got the flow of water within sort of a contained kind of channel going on here, so you can see clearly we're on an actual aqueduct. And this level, as a result of that, is one of the most sort of straight and linear-ish levels of everything. I mean, it's the intro level to an act, so they're never very big, but it's kind of interesting that, you know, we're just walking along this path here. They've got boats parked in the middle, so you can go, you know, between sides, back and forth if you want, but mostly you're just going in one relatively distinct direction, although there will be 90-degree corners from time to time. So again, we're going to be able to burn through these minions pretty quickly. What is worth noting is that I have gone and, I'm pretty sure this is the first video with that, I've actually made my own item filter. You can see here these items weren't showing up. I've got a relatively strict item filter going on. It'll always show me all rares and uniques. It'll also show me anything with 10% or more. Oh, apparently I'm still full. 10% or more quality. It'll also show me anything with 6 sockets or with 4 or 5 link sockets, depending on what kind of item it is, for example. And also all currency. But I've also got it set to, oh, it's an interesting desync. Let me check my, oh, there we go, we're fine. It also colorized a few things very differently here. For example, this full chainmail is still colorized green here because it's rainbow sockets. I mean, I couldn't do a rainbow socket background, but it's a red, green, blue linked item. However, apparently I'm full, so we're going to do that. I'm not going to bother picking up too much of this loot here unless it's quite important. Just because, I mean, I could, I suppose, go back to town and just vendor. But there you go. So mostly all I'm doing is I'm using my, I got my conductivity curse, hitting them with light and tendrils. Oh, I forgot to turn on my, my buff. That'll make a pretty big difference. Because with conductivity, we get shock goes off quite often. There you go. And then I get my little zappy zaps. Here, let's run through some of this stuff, just because we can more or less safely ignore this, because we're pretty high level. So I'll use my Quicksilver Flask a few more times here, and just try to rush forward to the end of this zone. It's got these giant, I don't know, they're infected vultures, some sort of like, I don't know, they look like a cross between a turkey and a flea. Kind of a weird item. These blackguards are basically a continuation of some of the theme that we saw last time. The turkeys are definitely new enemies. All right, they're vultures, but they're just so ridiculous looking, which I guess is kind of the idea. Plus, I suppose vultures are generally pretty ridiculous looking. I don't think this is the right way to go. You got to backtrack a little bit. And that's the thing, even though the level feels relatively straightish, it still offers, you know, certain maze-like qualities here. You're going to have to cross back and forth when there's boats. Yeah, you know what? Nice big clump of enemies. We're not going to get much XP killing these guys just because of the huge level differential. Again, you know, this is not looking like a challenge because I made sure to level up a bit more before... Wait, this is another dead end. What the... Oh, there we go. Just because I wanted to be able to go through relatively quickly to show off the new areas here. Cross back over here. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Ooh, may as well kill the rares, though. You got anything special for me, Mr. Rare? Nope, not much. So one thing with the item filters is you do lose the awesome loot explosion effect that you get when killing things, which is one of the hallmarks of, there we go! The 100-foot shadow. Giant turkey. One of the hallmarks of action RPGs, or Diablo-like games, for lack of a better term, are the loot explosions when something dies, which are pretty awesome and dramatic, especially killing a boss, right? You just get whoosh, all this stuff scattered. But, you know, it does get a little bit old at a certain point. Alright, we'll leave that stuff behind. It's okay. Let's go through this. We should be almost at the city at this point. We may have to cross at that boat. A little bit of a camp here. 90-degree bend. Yep. Did have to cross at that boat. Let's clear this up a little bit. Get some more charges on our Quicksilver Flask. Go, go. Come back through all these guys. Where are we? Right over here. And we should be able to hit town. So, right away, again, because most of what we've done so far has been running around in wilderness, either on the beach in Act 1, in the jungle in Act 2, and yeah, in a city in Act 3, but sort of a falling apart desert type city, right? You know, it's quite poor feeling. This is a lot of crap over here. It felt poor, decrepit, and very jungly, and now we're gonna get still some of it. I mean, it's the same society, it's the same technology level, but I don't know, the city and the fact that they've built the big aqueduct makes it different, like brings it up to a next level. It's more like I don't know, a little bit more Roman level of quality. I like it. I gotta say, this level's pretty gray and desaturated, and actually the next zone that we're gonna jump into as well is going to be relatively flat colored, because it's going to be a dried out lake, which doesn't lend itself to a lot of coloration, but at the same time it's got a different feel. Okay, there we go. We've now entered Highgate, which is the city. I like the red lanterns. It's quite cool. There's some nice dialogue coming in here. Kira is our main weapon vendor over here, who I will go ahead and sell off a bunch of this stuff. I don't know how much of it is identified. Should have started with an empty pile. What do we got? It's a quality item. No reason to wear that. That is a lot of extra physical damage. We'll save it just in case we end up making another character. I failed to identify this one. That's a fair amount of increased physical damage, but we could definitely do better, obviously, even on a one-handed weapon. It's got the bonus lightning damage, but it's probably not worth saving. It's not even a triple link item. No, never mind. That's a rainbow item. This is... Oh, we're not going to keep that. We're not going to keep that. It's a quality item. Quality item that needs to be identified. Quality, and we can trash this as well. Alright, let me just organize some of this stuff. Boom, boom, boom. Quality armor is there. There. Quality weapon. Oh, that was one we're maybe keeping. That's a quality weapon. I'm going to have to vend stuff relatively soon. And weapons below 30. There we go. Goes in there. We've got a quality flask over here. We've got red gem to give away. And then just stash our currency items. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So when you first come into the city, over here, this the mines here will actually be sealed off with like a giant, I don't know, some sort of giant lock thing. I'll do a little bit of a tour of the city just to show it off here. And I think it's over here, talking to Oyun. There's also going to be someone else over here. Dahlia, Lady Dahlia is going to be here, but she's moved because of reasons. You will find out that you need to get an item. You need to get a thingamajiggy before you can unlock that. So we have to go to another subzone first. Don't forget to talk to this guy. He's a bit out of the way, but he'll give you a little bit of a quest as well. I mean, obviously, just like everything else, you don't have to pick up the quest start. You can just go and do the quest and sort of instantly finish things, but at some point you'll have to turn it in. So first we have to go to the dried lake to get the MacGuffin so that we can open up the mines. And to me, this is the most distinctive zone I have been in yet, because it is the most absolutely wide open zone I have seen so far. I mean, in a sense, I suppose some of the Act 1 sort of foresty, swampy areas are relatively open and run-aroundy, but the fact that it is like a nondescript lake bed, and I mean, yeah, they've got a few little rock segments and some little plants and things like this, but I think it's the whiteness of it all just makes it feel like it's completely open and flat to me. I mean, it's not. You do have to navigate around things, so it's interesting. I mean, there's still, from the mechanical point of view, it's functionally similar. You know, you're not just running around in the open, but it feels so open and exposed, which I think is a pretty important, you know, part of the idea, the tone. These guys are kind of weird. It's hard to get a good look at them, and we keep getting zapped. There's some sort of spiky skeleton thing. Go away, turkey. I'm trying to get a look at these. And we'll have to look at the blue champion level ones, or the magic ones. Like, look, they sort of started off as skeletons, and then they've got a bunch of rocks poking out of them. And then you have this thing here, right? The knitted horror. Again, it's glowing blue because it's a champion one. And it's just like a bunch of bones and sinew and more rock bits, and I don't know what's going on. Now, again, we are still pretty over-leveled for this area, so we're just going to be ripping through this without much in the way of challenge. We'll go ahead and pick up that rainbow item. Now, there we go. Hey, leveled up. We got our gem up as well, the lightning warp gem. Yeah, I'm still not using lightning warp much. It's got that big delay. I might have to find some other transportation thing. It's nice that it lets you skip, you know, up and down cliffs. Although we won't be able to do it here. Well, I guess that's the edge of the map. You know, that is handy. But level up. I am heading out this way because Light of Divinity. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. We'll get that. Zap some spiders. Little hoppy spiders. Now, somewhere in here, there's sort of a boss, like a unique that you have to kill to get the thing. And he was pretty hard. I guess that's Vol himself. I wonder if we can find him here. Even with being pretty massively over-leveled, I suspect it's still going to take us a couple of minutes to finish him off. Because he was a tough guy. Little camp here. Oh, that's not the unique. It's a unique, but it's not the one. Go and grab that. Oh, I didn't kill Nightwing? Oh, a faster attacks gem. Nice. Always very handy to pick up. Because even if you're not using faster attacks on your actual, like, DPS, on your actual main attack, you can use it for things like Whirling Blades to accelerate its ability. Wait. Are you still alive? What the? How many of you do I have to kill? Okay, this one feels like he's a little tougher. There we go. He finally died. Huh. I don't know what was going on with him, but that was cool. Haven't seen that before. So yeah. So anyway, I'm not gonna clear the zone because there's no point in doing it. But I wanted to give a taste of it, and I liked it. When I coming in here first time, I was like, yeah, this feels different. Okay. That is a lot of currency items, plus a rare skull. I'll grab all that stuff. That's nice. Oh no! Oh, I missed the loot monkey. Son of a bitch. No! Ah! Didn't even see him up there. Too busy talking. It was one of those specters that you can... When they walk through people... So we've been clarified. Those little specter things, when they walk through things, they give them the extra trait, which apparently also maybe increases their loot drop, which is why that was so rich. But also killing the specter itself gives you massive amounts of bonus loot. But, like a treasure goblin. There we go. There's Vol, Emperor of Purity. He's pretty badass. And, oh my god! You see this? How... Okay, this is a level 34 zone. I'm 8 levels over-leveled for this area. And that guy almost just destroyed me right there. We have to dodge that stuff. So this guy's pretty bad news, and he does resist elemental damage. Doesn't resist melee, which might mean he's a little easier. I don't know how heavily armored he is. He still has lots of hit points, but he might be a little easier for a pure physical person, other than the fact that you do have to get right up in his face. And if you don't dodge that stuff... I mean, even if I am dodging it, I'm getting obliterated here. This was a very challenging fight. And I mean, it's entirely possible that I simply don't have, you know, the best, most optimized build or whatever, but holy crap, man. I'm very happy to get a rare 2-stone ring. Actually, 2 of them. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't suppose that your intrinsic numbers are pretty good, are they? Intrinsic of 14% fire and cold. This one's 12% fire and cold. You can definitely get better 2-stone rings as an intrinsic. More increased elemental damage with weapons and accuracy and evasions. The chaos resistance is really nice, but other than that, this is not a really helpful item for me. More evasion rating is always fine. More maximum life, good. More maximum energy shield, and more lightning resistance. Actually, that is quite good. Which one do I want to replace? I might be tempted to replace the gold ring here. How are my defenses? Actually, we're almost capped. I guess we can just replace this other 2 ring, which technically puts my cold over and sacks a lot of fire. Actually, I mean, it is increasing my max life. You know what? I think we're going to leave that gold ring in there. We will need this for the next difficulty, because we are going to need... when you go up in difficulty, your actual resistances drop. I think it's minus 50 per difficulty level. So you need to overkill, effectively, your resistance just to be able to get back up to the cap of 75% resistance. Alright, let's do this, but we can actually teleport back to town. So at this point, by killing Vol over there, again, as tough as that fight was, remember, I'm 8 levels over level at this point, which is scary. Portal scroll. So at this point, we can use the MacGuffin. Oh, these guys are cool too, the first time you talk to them. These two, they talk at the same time. Like, they're one character over here. They're the people that sell you the flask and jewelry and whatnot over here. But, yeah, they're fun. I can probably sell off a few of these. Yeah, that's not particularly important. It's got some decent stats, but it's not really linked. No, we'll get rid of it. extra rarity. I don't have the strength, and it probably doesn't make sense to save it around anyway. That's a rainbow item, so we get a chromatic, and then we will save the rest. Let me go and just stash this, and then we'll go to the mines. We've got currency. We've got a green skill gem, faster attack support gem. I like to put my support gems over here. Not always consistent about it, but there we go. These are fire and cold, which I put there and there. Look at me getting organized, huh? And then what did I want to do with this? That's a quality armor that I can vendor later. Okay. All right. So now we can go here, and of course we're skipping the story. The story is really, really cool. The voice acting is great. Lady Dahlia continues to be weird and awesome. So it's definitely going to be nice to experience. But look at it. I like the feel of mine. I like these tracks a lot. They're quite cool. And knowing, how, like, map generation, obviously all the maps are procedurally generated, knowing how that goes, I'm quite impressed by their ability to sort of keep everything stitched up with these tracks. So we got a new set of enemies here. We got pocked miners and pocked lantern bearers. And they are pretty messed up looking. They look like Swiss cheese. Their brains are sliced off. Oh my god, I didn't even notice that. Their heads have been sliced off partially through, and then you just see this. It's not Swiss cheese. It's like, what is it? Like some sort of coral, some sort of stone thing. I don't know what I'm thinking about here for their texture, but it is pretty disturbing altogether. Can't deny that. Oh, look down into this little shaft over here. All right, and again, the monster level here is only 34, so we're still, over leveled. We got new kinds of goddamn bats over here, shriekers. Oh, I think they fixed something. Because the first time I came through here, these things were so insanely loud. I mean, they are called shriekers. I'm not going to deny that. But it was like, you've got sort of a normal volume levels, and these things are just going through, and like, if you're wearing earphones, they're busting your ears. At least, I don't think I was imagining that. I think they really were quite a bit louder than absolutely everything else. And it was pretty shocking. So there you go. So again, fighting through this stuff here is going to be pretty easy. We have lots of extra hit points. We got lots of health. Our resistances are basically capped out, and we are 8 levels ahead of the curve here. So none of this should be particularly challenging. But there's some cool stuff we're going to see. I think mostly on the second mine level that it's worth mentioning. There's some really badass stuff going on, with some really unique monster mechanics. Just sort of visual. Like, I don't know if you were like me. The very first time I played Path of Exile, and you get to, oh, what's his name? You're in the very first intro zone, before you get to the first town, and you get to the boss at the end. Oh my god. Can't believe I've forgotten his name. But, that guy. And you have to kill him, right? And he's just like a big brute, big giant guy sort of slapping at you, and you're like, okay, that's fine. And you're fighting him, but the whole time he's got, like, this sword in his chest, like, impaled in his chest. And when he gets to half health, he draws the sword. Oh, I forgot about that. Look, I'm still losing health because I'm on fire. Yeah, that killed me the first time. What an impressive effect. Also, the sound on that was incredible. The echo after the explosion, really, really, really well done sound design. Anyway, to get back to the story, when he draws the sword out of his chest and starts attacking with that, I flipped out the first time. I thought that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in the game. Just like, and I'm like, okay, what series of animations did he use to, like, check the mode and then equip the sword? And he does, as far as I know, do more damage once he equips the sword. I was like, all right, that was pretty cool. Well, there's sort of like something that gives me that sort of same vibe here, and I think it's on the second level of mines. So we'll just fight our way there. Again, we'll get there pretty quick. That explosion almost killed me, though. And again, I'm 8 levels ahead of the curve here. And what was my lightning resist? Lightning resist was 62, and I think that was a lightning explosion. So that's a nasty surprise the first time. Now, you can dodge it. You can see the charge building up and be like, I better get the hell out of here. What are you? Stink shambles. Extra fire damage, powerful crits, gets endurance charges. Well, as long as you don't explode. No, but you fall apart in a very satisfying way. I think the most satisfying death in Path of Exile are still the statues in Act 3. That just, like, because they're like metal statues, right? Gold statues or bronze or whatever. And they animate and then they fight you. But then when you kill them, they don't explode in chunks or anything like that. They just de-animate. And then they fall over in a solid chunk and, like, roll around in a very, very physicsy and satisfying way. All right, mine's level 2, and I think we'll be able to show. First of all, we've got some more. Like, look at this tunneler guy. Ugh, that is disturbing. I don't know. Very, like, human centipede-ish or something like that. There's something just very disturbing about these guys. The Herald of Thunder is still really satisfying. Just zap, zap, zap. Especially when you're going through a zone where you're over-leveled. Ooh, Flame Blast. Do I know what Flame Blast is? Certainly I've never used it. I'm going to apologize if any of these things is a new skill gem or not. Oh my god! Kill the Tormented! Run, 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 run. Oh, I double charged on my Quicksilver Flask. It's not good. Okay, we got him in time. I keep running into these guys when I don't have any charges in my Quicksilver Flask, and then I can't close with them properly. There we go. Thank you, Treasure Goblin. Grab a few of those. It'd be nice if they had a different loot hotkey. Because right now, here's the thing, right? Like, I've got my loot filter set, so it only shows me items that are useful to me, or that I've decided to be useful. But if I hold Alt, I can only pick them up while I'm holding Alt, which is very important, because if not, you could accidentally pick up stuff. And what's annoying is that it also, if you have that option turned off, even clicking on something that you don't have enabled in your loot filter, you'll still accidentally pick it up. So I definitely want it so that it only lets me pick up items when I hold a key. But it happens to also be the key that shows everything. I would like two hotkeys. One, like, shows all the items, ignoring the loot filter. And another one, which is my pickup key toggle, for example. So that I can just have it filtered to only what I only want to pick up what my loot filter allows, for example. It's not terribly important, but it would be nice. And I mean, I don't know if it's worth complicating things by adding extra hotkeys and adding extra stuff to the option menu. It might not actually be a good thing. Okay, where is the stuff I'm talking about? I was sure it was on this dungeon level, but we haven't seen one of them yet. It might be in a different dungeon. Oh, hang on. I'm thinking of the Crystal Veins instead. Okay, we're going to do this, and then what we're probably going to do is we could... No, the Crystal Veins link here. They're part of mines too. I could shortcut. Wow, this is going to be quite lucrative. Look at that. We killed someone with that kind of loot, and we haven't even opened the actual strongbox yet. Acceptable. Alright, we'll grab all the rares. Oh, or not. I say a lot of these may not even be worth picking up. Ooh, level up conductivity. That's quite a bit of spell damage. What is that? 37? Now, right now, my magic wand, my non-rare wand, there we go, I just wanted to get rid of the background, gives me more. Gives me 42% increased spell slash... wait, hold on. No, my current wand gives me elemental damage with weapons. It's not actually helping my spells at all. So, I think I read that wrong initially. So, yes, my Empowering Sage Wand of Radiance is not actually terribly useful. The Empyrean Spire will give me a lot more spell damage. It gives me 96% increased physical damage, which was an amazing trait, except it does nothing for me. It also gives me a bunch more critical strike multiplier, and I want crits. That is a great item. What's my DPS right now with my tendrils? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So let's do a swap over here. It's also got all the correct sockets. That's amazing. Put them all in there. Put the lightning tendrils back here, and now it's 1375. There we go. Not a bad boost. An extra, what, 150-ish DPS? Can't complain about that. Yeah, I can't believe I misread that for so long. We can leave that behind. That's a lot of resistance. I can't wear it because I don't have the dex, but that's really quite nice. 4 sockets, 3 of which are linked, is not a bad, like, item at this level. Clear a little bit of that. Melee gem socketed. Yeah, but it doesn't give extra physical damage, so. Okay, and we'll keep some of the rest here. This is like a crowbar. It's kind of interesting. Do we want to wear this? No. I'm going to leave some of this loot behind, even though we could vendor it. Recording right now. Leave me alone. I don't even know how to reply. I literally don't know how to reply. But I'm good on courtesy. I'm sure. I'm fine. Dun, 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 dun. You can tell I never interact in this game. I keep off the global and trade chat. I'm like, this game could be single player for all I care about. Which is not, not necessarily the best way to experience these action RPGs, A lot of times it is more fun with the party. One thing that Diablo does better than this is the ability to sort of... Or Diablo 3, I should say. Maybe even Diablo 2... I don't know. But Diablo 3 certainly makes it really easy to join a group. And and do things together, right? Like, you can just basically open yourself to a private party. It'll auto matchmake for you, that sort of thing. Hello, Void Scream. I kill you now. Wow, you were a lot tougher than expected. That's a pretty decent intrinsic on that ring, considering what I'm normally been finding. Where the hell am I supposed to go next? I really want to get to the Crystal Caves, because that's the place with the awesome, awesome monsters. Well, it's less that the monsters themselves are awesome, and more what they do is quite cool. Pick up the armor scrap. I said pick up the armor scrap. Thank you very much. Kill Broken Bamble. Oh, he's immune to curse. There we are. Extra portal scroll. Speed down here. We must be almost done this level. There can't possibly be very much left. Let's try to thin some of this herd here. Are you... Oh, you are cursed. Okay. Well, that was a disappointing amount of loot, considering how much I killed. Kill a few more. I don't know, the kind of commentary you can provide with these games. That's why I'm only going to make probably one, maybe two other videos in this Path of Exile thing. Just because there really is a limit to the amount of live commentary. I think this is actually one of those games that might suit itself better to a live stream, where you're not always talking, but, you know, people can follow along with some of the actions and tune in and tune out and just see the progression. It's so enjoying to play. And not everyone's into these games, right? Because there is ultimately, well, ultimately every game can be like, well, you click things, and then you click some more. Well, every game is pretty much like that, right? But what these games are about is getting into a flow that can be fun to play. Like, you're just getting into the rhythm, you're killing things, it's like, yeah, it's very satisfying. And then every now and again, you're thinking about your build. You're like, what if I rearrange my items this way? What if I, you know, go through the skill tree in this way instead? What if I combine this active ability with this support gem instead? So you're thinking about, you know, ways to optimize your builds and modify things. But a lot of the actual gameplay is just like, yeah, I'm badass, I'm just running through everything. I got the, you know, maybe some music playing in the background, and it's a different kind of vibe. One that's often very enjoyable. Okay, seriously though. There we go. Look at this guy. Look at this guy over here. He's digging through the wall. Look at him. He's digging the wall up and then releasing a creature. There, this one's gonna do it too. Look at that. Now you can kill them before they do it, which is probably generally a good idea. But how awesome is that? I've never seen that. Like, they dig up the walls and release creatures from these crystals. I mean, we're in what? The Crystal Veins? Crystal Veins. And we're still, like, wickedly over level here. They're 35. Which is not very optimal for me to do in terms of getting experience points. Although, certainly, I can burn through it quickly enough that I can, you know, get some loot, right? Because there's still a high chance that these guys may drop something that is useful to me. You know, higher level zones will drop slightly higher level loot. But the loot system is so random and mostly depends on modifiers that it mostly comes down to killing a volume of creatures before you find, you know, the exact correct set of mods that you're looking for. And so burning through a slightly lower level area where there's A, no risk of dying, and B, you can really kill a lot of stuff quickly, gives you the best chance to find some high quality items. Especially if you happen to switch out your gear to something that's maybe less strong, less defensive, especially. You know, you might still want as much damage so you can kill quickly, but you can go with something less defensive that's got, you know, increased quantity or increased rarity of items that get dropped. Then, oh my god! Okay, I saw the Flame Bearers mod on them. I was like, what does that do? Look at this. Boom. Huh! Alright, gotta be careful for that, because that always took me out, and I have very high fire resistance. They're still dropping plenty of loot, but nothing I have set in my filter. Most white items... No, this one's not even magic. I could, theoretically, if I had one, give it a magic modifier. Now, armor strong... I think this just drops blacksmith stones and things. So getting extra quality or anything doesn't matter as much. Getting more quantity would be good. Might be wrong. Oh, no, it's actual suits of armor. So, yeah... Maybe working on some modifiers would have gotten us something slightly better, but okay, I dead-ended over here. Let's go over this way. So, basically, in the Crystal Veins here, you are going to be trying to get to the end of it, and actually, you're finding Lady Dahlia somewhere in here. Alright, let's kill all y'all. I don't think that granted Frenzy on death. Still doing alright. Oh, come on. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Okay. Kill all you guys. What's the intrinsic on that? Plus 13. I swear they can get higher. Again, maybe I'm just used to on my main being higher level, but I haven't seen anything higher than 15% on any of these. I would really like to get... I'm sure I've found things with like 20% before, but it might be a higher level version. And if I do, then I would like to craft that into a rare ring and hope we get some good modifiers. Or maybe just a magic ring and re-roll a few times. It's just nice to have, especially when you do go up to the next difficulty level. What do we have here? A shrine that I can click on. So for now I got to stay just out of range because it's going to hurt me. But if I run in there and click on it, now I have the buff. And it's going to hurt them. And it's always nice when it's lightning too, because then it just stacks even more than before. More lightning damage, more shock. Just walk through and zap everyone. Don't release the monster from the wall. Superior Desecrate. What was the quality on that one? 16%. That's quite good. I don't know if... Desecrate. Summoning corpses, dealing chaos damage, creates corpses. Oh, good if you're doing some sort of summoner build, I suppose. And yeah, 16% quality is really good. It's really hard to get quality up on a skill gem. So anytime you've got it... There we go. There's the waypoint. So I could have jumped right over here and then met Lady Diala. I keep saying Dahlia. Lady Diala is hanging out over here, and she, you know, gives you, in her very strange way of talking, like, it feels like Lady Diala should be an enemy. Like, she's so weird and effed up. Like, how on earth is she not a villain? I don't know. For all I know, she turns into a villain later on. Ultimately, we are trying to get through this. We are trying to find... we got the... Which one did I already have? I don't think I'm carrying it in my inventory. I think I turned it in already. I can't remember what I got from Duresso's dream, but I also have to go into Comb's dream to get the Eye of Fury. But I want to show you Duresso's dream. I'll show you just the starting area right over here real quick, but then I'm going to pop back out and use the waypoint to get a little further in here. So, yeah, the story is kind of weird. So we're in these sort of, like, I don't know, like, slave pits. Reminds me of, you remember, like, the Prince of Persia movie? They've got something kind of like this, you know. Some people walk above, and the rest of us are sort of stuck below. You'll notice it is level 37 here, which is quite a jump from some of the last zone, but not too bad. So it looks like it here, but as you go through... Actually, I guess we'll go to the first one. Oh, I ran out of quick silver. We'll go to the first... oh, it's right here. You know, gate comes down, and we're in a bit of a mini arena. And this thing... These zones, like, wrecked me the first time. Actually, look at this. I'm still taking huge damage from some of these things. And it's tough. You don't have a lot of space to work with here. I was able to kill them quickly enough because, again, I'm still quite over-leveled. Killed them quickly enough before the next wave comes through. But I don't think the next wave waits for them all to be dead. I think they're... Ooh, Orb of Chance. Don't mind if I do. I think they're mostly timed. So you can very quickly get overwhelmed in this. And they haven't done anything like this in Path of Exile before. And it's a nice little challenge. One more wave? I think that'll be it. And you can actually see the stuff, like, show up at the gate as well, which is nice. Come on. Oh, yeah. So that cleared that. I'm actually going to backtrack at this point and go back into the crystal veins and then use a waypoint to show you what the end of this area starts to look like. Dun, dun, dun. Because I think we do have a waypoint for it. Yeah, the Grand Arena. So you're going through these, like, little mini baby arena pits for the first little bit, but then eventually you get into a pretty area that is nice and carved, and you're getting a very definite sense of the Roman Colosseum at this point. I don't know which way we want to go. Lots of statues that will wake up. There we go. This way. And now we are in an actual, like, holy crap, arena with a lot of stuff. With a lot of stuff. You got to be ready to run, kite, escape. I'm so happy I'm using a Quicksilver Flask. Because even with, again, this is a level 38 zone, and I'm level 32. No, I got yeah, 42, sorry. So I'm only 4 levels ahead, actually, so that's much more, that's actually quite expected. You're usually going to be ahead of most zones as you go through Path of Exile, especially because if you don't, you're going to run into some bosses that you have a hard time doing, and you'll have to sort of repeat a few areas just to make sure you've got enough strength. Really? I don't have enough room for any of these things? Do I care? I should check out the Spear or Jade Chopper, if nothing else. Hang on. Let me do a temporary just dump of stuff here. It is nice that even if you are in an arena, let's just dump a bunch of things into this tab. I'll sort them out later. You can still teleport out, which is good. All right, I'll get that later. Except I probably won't. I'll forget about it for the rest of my life. Just don't want to leave some of this stuff behind, just in case it turns out to be really awesome. Oh, I like... There you go. Yeah, as you get close to some doors, they unleash more stuff. There's that. There's these ramps here that'll open up and release more things. So as you're running around and trying to escape the initial like group of enemies, you have to make sure you don't get too close to more groups of enemies. Now, on the bright side, as far as I can tell, these doors are not locked. Like, there's probably still stuff in the zone, yeah. So they let you escape the arena without killing everything. So if you need to, you can... There's still an escape possibility. And, of course, you can still portal out here. But, like, how awesome is this? Yeah! And so you're actually going to go through a little bit of a series of these arenas. There we go. Now we're level 43. And I'm not going to go through them all. But you go through a few of these, and then there's a boss at the end that you have to deal with. But what I'm going to do is... See ya, statues. I'm going to go back to the crystal veins over here. And I haven't actually finished the Combs Dream here. Now, I'm not going to do that right now, because we're going to have to wrap up this video in a second here. But, actually, I should have just put a cut earlier and then done the dreams separately. You know what? Tell you what, I'm going to put a cut in here, and we're actually going to go through a Combs Dream together, because it is quite cool, and it's got some more unique type monsters that I haven't seen before. So, thank you very much for tuning in. Again, we are going to be mostly wrapping up this series very, very soon. One, maybe two other videos in here, just to give you a taste of Act 4, and hope you're enjoying it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.